The grand halls of the Galactic Council stretched before Admiral James Walker like a golden cage. For 50 years, Earth had been part of this alliance, learning, growing, and supposedly building trust. But today, something felt different in the air. The usual buzz of diplomatic chatter had been replaced by tense whispers and avoiding glances. Walker moved quietly through the back corridors of the massive space station, his years of military training helping him avoid the regular patrols. An anonymous message had led him here, promising proof of something he had long suspected. The council wasn't what it seemed to be. In a forgotten data room, deep within the station's lower levels, Walker found what he was looking for. His hands moved quickly over the ancient computer terminal, breaking through security measures using codes that had cost 3 good agents their lives to obtain. What he found made his blood run cold. The evidence was clear as day. Trade agreements, weapon shipments, military plans, all pointing to a massive conspiracy. The Council had been secretly arming the Star Empire, Earth's longtime rival, for the past decade. Every diplomatic mission, every trade deal, every military inspection had been part of their plan to weaken Earth's defenses. Walker downloaded everything he could onto his secure device. His mind raced as he pieced together the puzzle. The recent peacekeeping fleets near Earth's colonies, the regular inspections of their defense systems, the insisted upon sharing of military technology. It had all been preparation for Earth's downfall. The sound of boots on metal flooring snapped him to attention. They knew. Somehow, they had discovered his presence. Walker sent a quick, encrypted burst transmission to Earth using his emergency quantum communicator. The message was brief but clear. Council betrayed us. Star Empire armed. Prepare for war. Trust no one. He had barely finished the transmission when the door burst open. Council security forces poured in, their weapons trained on him. Behind them stood Council Speaker himself, his face a mask of false concern. Admiral Walker, the speaker said smoothly, "What an unexpected pleasure to find you here, in a restricted area, accessing classified information. I'm afraid this is a very serious breach of protocol." Walker stood tall, his military bearing never wavering. "Not as serious as arming our enemies and plotting our destruction," he replied coldly. The speaker's face hardened. "You humans, always so dramatic. Did you really think we would allow your species to continue growing unchecked? Your potential for violence, your rapid technological advancement, your unpredictability. You're a threat to galactic stability." "We trusted you," Walker said. "We shared our knowledge, our resources, our friendship, and we accepted them all while planning for the inevitable day when humanity would need to be contained. The Star Empire will handle that containment for us, and Earth will learn its proper place in the galaxy." Alarms began blaring throughout the station. On the security screens, Walker could see the Council's main chamber filling with armed troops. Earth's diplomatic delegation was being surrounded, their protests ignored as they were led away at gunpoint. "Your transmission won't help," the speaker said. "By the time your warning reaches Earth, the Star Empire's fleets will already be moving. This is the end of humanity's brief journey among the stars." Walker smiled, a cold, knowing smile that made the speaker pause. "You really should have studied Earth's history more carefully," he said. "Every empire that tried to contain us learned the same lesson. You're not ending our journey among the stars. You're just giving us a reason to show you how far we can go." The security forces moved in, placing him under arrest. As they led him away, Walker caught glimpses of other diplomats being detained, of military attaches being disarmed, of the carefully maintained facade of galactic unity crumbling away to reveal the rot beneath. But he wasn't worried. Earth had never fully trusted the Council, never shared all of its secrets. In the hidden shipyards of the Kuiper Belt, in the deep factories of Mars, in the asteroid bases that no Council inspector had ever found, humanity had been preparing. Not because they wanted war, but because thousands of years of human history had taught them one simple truth. Peace is preserved through strength, and betrayal only makes humanity stronger. As the cell door closed behind him, Walker thought about the weapons Earth had kept hidden, the fleets they had built in secret, and the plans they had never shared. The Council thought they were preventing a war. Instead, they had just started one they couldn't win. General Mary Stone stood at the window of her underground command center on Mars, watching as the massive hidden factory doors opened in the red cliff face. Walker's warning had reached them just in time. Now, the wheels of Earth's secret war machine were turning, and there was no stopping them. The emergency alarms had been ringing for 6 hours straight when the first reports of attacks on the outer colonies started coming in. The Star Empire's ships had appeared from nowhere, striking at what they thought were helpless targets. But Earth had been ready for something like this for years. Status report, Stone called out to her command staff. The large screen in front of her lit up with data from across the solar system. The civilian evacuation of the outer colonies is at 90%, reported her second in command. The Star Empire thinks they're attacking populated areas, but they're mostly hitting empty buildings and automated defense systems. Stone nodded. Those colonies had been built to look crowded and busy from space, but most have been running on minimal staff for years. It was just one of many tricks Earth had ready for a day like this. Deep in the Kuiper Belt, hidden among the ice and rock, Earth's real shipyards were coming to life. Project Dead Hand wasn't just a backup plan. It was humanity's answer to betrayal. While the Council's inspectors had been shown the obvious shipyards near Earth, the real work had been happening far from prying eyes. Launch the Ghost Fleet, Stone ordered. Across the solar system, ships that looked old and outdated powered up their engines. They would retreat from the outer colonies, making Earth look weak and unprepared. The Star Empire would follow them, thinking they had found easy prey. They wouldn't realize their mistake until it was too late. In her private office, Stone reviewed the latest intelligence reports. The Council was celebrating what they thought was a successful trap. They didn't know that Earth had broken their codes years ago. Every message they sent to coordinate with the Star Empire was being read. Every plan they made was already countered before it began. A light flashed on her desk, a secure call from the hidden base on Europa. General, the base commander's voice came through clearly. The new quantum torpedoes are ready. Production is at maximum capacity. Good, Stone replied. Load them onto the stealth ships first. I want our first strike to hit them where they least expect it. The display on her wall showed the movement of ships across the solar system. The Star Empire's fleet was advancing exactly as predicted, following Earth's seemingly retreating forces. They didn't notice the small dark shapes moving through the void behind them, didn't detect the silent ships taking up position at their fleet's weak points. Stone walked through the massive underground factory beneath the Martian surface. Workers moved with purpose, assembling weapons that the Council had never imagined. Earth hadn't spent the last 50 years just learning from the galactic community. They had been improving on everything they learned, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Message from Luna Base, her communicator chirped. The shield breakers are ready for deployment. Another piece of the puzzle falling into place. The Council's ships relied on energy shields that they thought were impenetrable. They would learn the hard way that humanity had found a way through them years ago. In the main command center, Stone watched as reports came in from across the solar system. Hidden bases activated, secret weapons came online, and plans long in the making began to unfold. The Star Empire thought they were pushing against Earth's outer defenses. In reality, they were being drawn into carefully prepared killing zones. General, one of her officers called out, we're detecting more Star Empire ships entering the system. They're following the exact route we predicted. Stone allowed herself a small smile. The Council had spent 50 years studying humanity, but they had never truly understood them. They saw humans as primitive, violent, and predictable. They didn't understand that those same qualities made humanity incredibly dangerous when betrayed. Send the order to all commands, Stone said firmly. Operation Revenge begins in 6 hours. Let's show the galaxy why you should never corner a human. Throughout the solar system, Earth's real fleet waited in the darkness of space. The Council and the Star Empire thought they had caught humanity unprepared. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The Star Empire's main shipyard floated in space like a giant metal spider web, its sprawling arms filled with vessels under construction. Their sensors watched for threats from every direction except one, behind their own moon. That's exactly where Earth's stealth ships waited. In his holding cell on the Council station, Admiral Walker felt the slight vibration in the walls. Something had changed. The guards were moving faster, talking in worried whispers. He smiled, knowing what was coming. The Council's perfect plan was about to meet humanity's fury. The first strike came without warning. Quantum torpedoes streaked out from the darkness, each one finding its target with deadly accuracy. The Star Empire's supposedly unbreakable shields flickered and died as the new weapons tore through their defenses like paper. Before the alarm could even sound, 20 of their largest warships were crippled. How is this possible? The Star Empire's fleet commander demanded, watching as his ships burned. Their weapons can't be this strong. The Council assured us their technology was inferior. Earth's attack fleet emerged from their hiding spots, their hulls dark and menacing. These weren't the bright, obvious warships that the Council knew about. These were humanity's real weapons of war, built in secret and waiting for this moment. Back on the Council station, Walker's cell door suddenly opened. In the doorway stood one of his guards, but something was different. "Sir," the guard said quietly, "Operation Ghost Walker is in effect." Walker nodded. Not all of humanity's agents had been caught in the Council's trap. The Council's main chamber was in chaos. Reports were coming in from across the galaxy. Earth's forces weren't just attacking the shipyard. Hidden bases and sleeper ships were activating everywhere, striking at crucial targets with devastating precision. How are they doing this? The Council speaker raged, watching the tactical displays. Their ships were old, their weapons outdated. We saw their facilities ourselves. You saw what we wanted you to see, Walker said, walking into the chamber as alarms blared around them. His former guards now stood with him, their true loyalties revealed. Humanity learned long ago to always keep an ace up our sleeve. The space battle around the shipyard had turned into a slaughter. The Star Empire's ships found themselves caught between Earth's attack fleet and the massive minefield that Earth's stealth ships had planted during their retreat. Every time they tried to escape, another weapon they didn't know existed cut through their defenses. On Earth's command ships, targeting computers synchronized with deadly precision. The quantum torpedoes weren't just weapons. They were carrying computer viruses that spread through enemy systems, turning their own technology against them. Ships suddenly lost power, weapons turned on their own allies, and chaos spread through the enemy fleet. "Sir," one of Walker's loyal agents reported, "the Council's defense network is compromised. We have control of their communication systems." Walker took the command station microphone. His voice boomed through every ship and station in the sector. "Attention Council forces and Star Empire fleet. You thought humanity was weak because we valued peace. You mistook our diplomacy for cowardice. That was your first mistake. Your second was betraying us." The Star Empire's Grand Fleet, pride of their military, tried to mount one final counterattack. They never saw the cloaked destroyers waiting in the asteroid field. Space lit up with explosions as humanity's hidden weapons revealed themselves. Ship after ship fell to weapons that shouldn't have existed. In the Council chamber, the speaker watched in horror as the tactical display showed more Earth ships appearing everywhere. "Impossible," he whispered. "We monitored their production capabilities. We knew exactly what they could build." "No," Walker corrected him. "You knew what we told you we could build. Humanity learned from every war in our history. Never show your real strength until you need it." The battle was over in less than an hour. The Star Empire's greatest shipyard was a floating wreck. Their fleet was scattered or destroyed. And now, finally, the Council understood the terrible truth. They hadn't been containing a primitive species. They had been poking the sleeping giant. As Walker took control of the Council Station systems, he sent a message to Earth. Phase 1 complete. The galaxy is about to learn why humanity's most important rule has always been, don't start a fight you're not sure you can finish. Captain Robert Thomas stood at the bridge of his diplomatic vessel, watching the sprawling trading stations of the merchant worlds spin slowly against the backdrop of space. After Earth's devastating first strike, the galaxy's neutral powers were suddenly very interested in talking. They're ready to receive us, his communications officer reported. The Trading Council has granted us emergency landing clearance. Thomas had been chosen for this mission because he understood how power worked in the galaxy. Earth hadn't just revealed its military strength. It had shown the galaxy that everything they thought they knew about humans was wrong. Now it was time to use that surprise to build new alliances. The meeting hall was packed with representatives from 30 different species. Some were old races who had tired of the Council's corruption. Others were younger civilizations who had faced the same prejudice and restrictions that Earth had endured. All of them watched Thomas with new respect and just a hint of fear. The Council told everyone that humans were dangerous primitives who needed to be controlled. Thomas said, his voice carrying through the hall. They were half right. We can be dangerous, but only to those who betray us. He activated a holographic display, showing proof of the Council's countless schemes and betrayals against many worlds, not just Earth. In the back of the room, representatives from younger species whispered among themselves. They had suffered under the Council's rules for centuries, watching their own development held back by arbitrary restrictions. Now they saw a chance for change. Earth offers friendship to those who want it, Thomas continued. We don't seek to control or restrict like the Council did. We want partners, not servants. Allies, not subjects. On the massive screens around the hall, news was spreading across the galaxy. The Star Empire's governance was falling apart as more proof of their secret deals with the Council came to light. Their own colonies were declaring independence, protected by Earth's rapidly advancing fleets. A representative from one of the younger species stood up. The Council restricted our ship development, claiming it was for safety. Now we see they just wanted to keep us weak. We stand with Earth. More declarations followed. Years of resentment against the Council's manipulations came pouring out. Thomas watched as the alliances of the galaxy shifted before his eyes. His communicator buzzed with updates from Earth's intelligence network, more Council corruptions being exposed, more secret deals coming to light. The Star Empire's third fleet has surrendered, his tactical officer whispered. Their crews are requesting asylum. They say they won't fight for corrupt leaders anymore. In deep space, Earth's ships were no longer fighting alone. Vessels from the younger species joined them, sharing their own secret technologies that the Council had never known about. Each betrayed race had hidden something away, kept some advances secret. Now those secrets were becoming shared strengths. Thomas received an urgent message from Admiral Walker. The Council's inner circle is trying to erase their records. Stop them if you can. But Earth's tech teams were faster. Every deleted file was recovered, every hidden transaction exposed. On thousands of worlds, people watched in shock as the true face of the Council was revealed. Not wise leaders, but corrupt manipulators who had held back galactic progress for their own power. The trading worlds have made their decision, the lead merchant announced. We recognize Earth as a legitimate power. All trade sanctions are lifted immediately. This was what real victory looked like, Thomas knew. Not just winning battles, but changing how the galaxy worked. Earth's strike against the shipyards had shown their military power. Now they were showing something just as important, their ability to build a better future. Message from the Star Empire's outer colonies, his communications officer reported. They're overthrowing their governors. They want to discuss terms with us directly, not through their central government. Thomas smiled. The Council had feared human unpredictability. They should have feared human justice instead. The old powers had played their games of control and manipulation for too long. Now it was time for something new. "Tell Earth Command that Phase 4 is complete," Thomas ordered. "The galaxy isn't just seeing our strength, they're choosing our side. And this is just the beginning." The Council's main defense station exploded in a brilliant flash of light. General Stone watched from her command ship as Earth's forces swept through another supposedly impregnable stronghold. What had taken the Council centuries to build was falling in days. "Target their supply lines," Stone ordered, pointing to the holographic map showing Council space. "Don't waste time fighting their warships. Cut off their fuel, their food, their ammunition. A warship without supplies is just a floating piece of metal." Earth's attack came from everywhere at once. Small, fast ships slipped past the Council's defenses, destroying supply depots and fuel stations. Larger warships targeted their main production facilities. The Council's mighty defense grid, which had protected them for generations, was being torn apart piece by piece. "General," her tactical officer called out, "3 more Council worlds are asking to surrender. They say they won't fight for corrupt leaders anymore." The Council's space stations were supposed to be untouchable. Their shields could stop any known weapon. But they had never seen anything like Earth's quantum torpedoes. The new weapons passed through their barriers like they weren't even there, striking with deadly accuracy. In his command center on the captured Council station, Admiral Walker received reports from across the galaxy. The Star Empire's forces were deserting in massive numbers. Nobody wanted to die protecting leaders who had lied to them for so long. "Another Council member is trying to make a private deal," his intelligence officer reported. "They're offering to give us their defense codes in exchange for protection." Walker smiled grimly. The Council was falling apart exactly as he had predicted. When faced with real resistance, their unity had crumbled. Each member was now trying to save themselves, not caring about their former allies. The Council's last remaining leaders watched in horror as their power slipped away. They had spent centuries building their control over the galaxy. Now they were losing it all because they had made one simple mistake. They had betrayed the wrong species. "Earth's forces have taken the fuel processing centers in Sector 7. A Council aide reported nervously. "Without those facilities, our main fleet will run out of power in days." Stone's strategy was working perfectly. Instead of fighting the Council's warships directly, Earth's forces had targeted their support systems. Now those mighty warships were stranded in space, unable to fight or even move. "We're detecting massive energy readings from the Council's capital world," Stone's sensor officer reported. "They're powering up some kind of super weapon." But Earth had been ready for this too. Before the Council could fire their weapon, stealth ships that had been hiding for weeks revealed themselves. The super weapon facility disappeared in a flash of light, destroyed before it could even be used. "Message from Council security forces in 3 more sectors," Walker's communications officer announced. "They're surrendering. They say they won't die for leaders who hid behind lies." The Council had thought their greatest strength was their advanced technology. They were wrong. Their real strength had been the fear and respect other species had for them. Now that their lies were exposed, that fear was gone. All that was left was anger at centuries of manipulation. Stone watched as another Council stronghold fell to Earth's forces. They had spent 50 years studying the Council, learning their weaknesses, preparing for this moment. Every attack was precisely planned, every target carefully chosen. "The Council's main fleet is trying to regroup," her tactical officer reported. "But without their supply lines, they can barely move. They're sitting targets." In the Council's main chamber, the few remaining leaders faced a terrible truth. They had spent so long looking down on other species, especially humans, that they had forgotten a basic rule of the universe. The most dangerous enemy is the one you underestimate. "Send the message to all our forces," Stone ordered. "The Council's time is over. Earth remembers its friends and its enemies. Choose your side carefully." Across the galaxy, the message spread. The Council, which had ruled for centuries, was falling. And in its place, a new power was rising, one that had learned from the Council's mistakes and was determined not to repeat them. The massive Council fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system, thousands of warships gathering for one final desperate attack. On Earth's defense stations, alarms blared as sensors detected the largest invasion force ever assembled in galactic history. So they finally decided to come to us, Admiral Walker said, standing on the bridge of his flagship near Jupiter. His ship's computers counted over 3,000 Council vessels moving toward Earth. It was exactly what they had been waiting for. The Council speaker's voice boomed across all communication channels. "This is your last chance, humans. Surrender now, or we will destroy everything you have built. You cannot stand against the combined might of our remaining forces." Walker didn't bother responding. Instead, he sent a simple code to all Earth defense stations: spring the trap. As the Council fleet pushed deeper into the solar system, they found it strangely empty. There were no defending ships, no signs of resistance. Their confidence grew with each passing moment. This would be an easy victory. Then Jupiter's largest moon began to move. What the Council had thought was a moon was actually Earth's largest hidden space station, covered in rocky debris to mask its true nature. As it shed its disguise, massive weapon systems emerged from its surface. Multiple signals detected. The Council fleet commander reported nervously. "They're coming from all directions. Impossible energy readings." Hidden defense platforms that had been sleeping for years suddenly powered up. They had been disguised as asteroids, as abandoned stations, as space debris. Now they revealed their true nature, surrounding the Council fleet in a web of deadly technology. "All units, attack pattern Omega," Walker commanded. "Show them what humanity can really do." The Council fleet found itself trapped in a killing zone. Every route of escape had been blocked by carefully positioned minefields. Every attempt to jump to faster-than-light speed was blocked by gravity disruptors hidden in the asteroid belt. "This is impossible," the Council speaker raged. "Our scans showed nothing. There were no defenses here." "You still don't understand humans, do you?" Walker's voice replied calmly. "We knew you would come eventually. We've spent 50 years preparing this welcome for you." Earth's real fleet emerged from their hiding spots behind Mars, among Saturn's rings, and within the Sun's corona. Each ship carried weapons specifically designed to counter Council technology. Each crew knew exactly what to target. The Council's Grand Fleet tried to form a defensive sphere, but it was too late. Earth's ships struck from every direction at once, using attack patterns they had practiced for years. The quantum torpedoes tore through their shields. Electromagnetic pulses shut down their engines. Computer viruses turned their own weapons against them. "Status report," Walker demanded, watching the battle unfold. "Enemy fleet is in complete disarray," his tactical officer reported. "Their formations are breaking apart. They're trying to retreat, but our gravity traps have them pinned." The Council speaker's flagship attempted one last, desperate charge toward Earth. It never made it past the moon. Hidden laser arrays activated, cutting through its hull like paper. The mighty vessel, pride of the Council fleet, split apart in the cold void of space. "Your civilization is finished," the Council speaker transmitted one last time. "Others will rise against you. You'll never be accepted now that they've seen your true power." Walker looked at the tactical display showing Earth's allies moving in to secure key positions throughout Council space. The younger races that had suffered under Council rule were now helping humanity build something new. "You still don't get it," Walker replied. "We didn't do this alone. Every race you oppressed, every species you held back, they helped us prepare for this day. Your empire wasn't destroyed by humanity. It was destroyed by all the enemies you made." The battle lasted less than 6 hours. When it was over, the greatest fleet in Council history was nothing but floating debris. Earth's defensive web had worked perfectly, proving that patience and preparation could overcome even the greatest force. "Send word to all commands," Walker ordered. "The Council's last gambit has failed. Now we begin the real work, building a galaxy where no species has to fear betrayal again." As rescue ships moved in to save surrendering Council crews, Walker looked toward Earth shining in the distance. The Council had thought they were putting humanity in its place. Instead, they had forced humanity to show the galaxy what they could really do when pushed too far. 6 months after the Great Battle in the Solar System, the galaxy looked very different. The massive Council chamber, once a place of secrets and lies, now stood bright and open. Admiral Walker looked out at the gathered representatives from hundreds of worlds, including many species that the old Council had never allowed inside. The last Council prison camps have been freed, General Stone reported, standing at the podium. All political prisoners are being returned to their home worlds. The era of Council control is officially over. The Star Empire, once proud and mighty, had split into smaller regions. Their colonies, tired of being used as pawns in the Council's games, had chosen independence. Each now sent their own representatives to the new Galactic Assembly. The old Council kept us afraid of each other, Walker addressed the gathered species. They told us humans were dangerous primitives. They told younger races they weren't ready for advanced technology. They kept us divided because they feared what we could achieve together. In space around Earth, ships from dozens of species worked together to clear the debris from the final battle. Some of these races had never been allowed to meet before, kept apart by Council rules. Now they shared knowledge freely, learning from each other's strengths. We're detecting unusual energy readings from the galactic core, a young scientist announced excitedly. Without Council restrictions, we've made more progress in understanding it in 6 months than we did in the last century. The new Galactic Assembly wasn't perfect, but it was honest. Every meeting was open to all members. Every decision was made by vote, not by secret deals in backrooms. The younger races, which the Council had looked down on, brought fresh ideas and energy to solving old problems. The defense network is ready, Stone told Walker privately. But it's different from the Council's way. Instead of using it to control, we're using it to protect. Any world under attack can call for help, and the nearest ships will respond, no matter which species they belong to. Walker watched as former enemies worked together, sharing technology and resources. The Council's fall had shown everyone a simple truth. They were stronger together than apart. Humans hadn't just defeated the old order. They had helped build something better. Trading volume is up 300%. Thomas reported from his new position as Commerce Director. When you remove artificial restrictions and let people work together freely, amazing things happen. The former Council races had been surprised to find that humans didn't want revenge. Instead, Earth had offered them a chance to be part of something new. Many had accepted, bringing their knowledge and experience to help build a better system. In the ship construction yards around Mars, vessels of new design took shape. They combined technology from a dozen worlds, human innovation, Star Empire power systems, and improvements from races that the Council had dismissed as primitive. Together, they were creating ships that could explore deeper into space than ever before. We've confirmed the last Council holdouts have surrendered, Stone announced to the Assembly. Their leaders are being tried fairly, in open court, with all evidence made public. We won't repeat their mistake of justice in shadows. Walker stood at the grand window, remembering the day he had discovered the Council's betrayal. They had thought they were containing a dangerous species. Instead, they had forced humanity to show the galaxy a better way. The deep space exploration fleet is ready, a young captain reported excitedly. 10 species working together, using technology none of us could have created alone. We're going to see parts of space the Council never dreamed of reaching. This was humanity's real victory, not the defeated Council fleet, not the freed worlds, but the new spirit of cooperation spreading across the galaxy. They had turned betrayal into opportunity, enemies into friends, and fear into hope. Send a message to Earth Command, Walker ordered. Tell them the transformation is complete. The galaxy isn't just at peace, it's growing, learning, and working together. This is what we fought for. As ships from 100 worlds moved through space around him, Walker smiled. The Council had feared humanity's potential for violence. They should have recognized humanity's greater potential to forgive, to build, and to lead the galaxy toward a better future.